Me and you was talking backstage, but people like Boyce Watkins, they'll they'll write silly stuff about how King was more palatable for the white power, and he wasn't as hard as Malcolm X, and that's why King get a holiday versus Malcolm X. So it's it's the education system making people crazy as hell. What you think?
I think it's a trick bag that we find ourselves in, and that trick bag is actually, as I was thinking earlier, preparing my thoughts for the show. Our struggle has always been presented to us as an either or. Either W. Du Bois, Booker T. Washington, the field Negro, the house Negro, on and on. And we are the nationalists, the integrationists, the revolutionary, the Marxists, feminists, etc. And they when we get trapped in those two lanes, they don't serve our interests. It serves the interests of the state. It serves the interests of those we are organized against. Because in reality, for a liberation struggle to get where it needs to go, it has to go through different phases. Yeah. That's why transformation occurs. So when you look at Martin and Malcolm, two different sides of the coin, but they both were still evolving,
right?
Still questioning, but fundamentally, he definitely was a radical. And the question now we have to ask ourselves: now, was he a radical to the 10? No, that can be debatable. But nevertheless, he was on that path of being a radical, and he's done more than what most of the armchair folks haven't done.
Right.
When activists first pushed for the King holiday in the 70s and 80s, it was a way to say we shouldn't forget about the legacy of the movement. We shouldn't forget about the sacrifices of the movement and folks who were involved with it. You think about the fact that in 1983, President Ronald Reagan was definitely opposed to the holiday for a variety of reasons, but he ultimately acquiesced because Congress pushed it through. That's, I think, where things began to go sideways for the movement in terms of the holiday and the idea of the holiday, is that if you look at the debate in Congress in 82, 83 about making the King birthday a national holiday, virtually all the Congress people who were talking about it, they weren't really talking about King's ideas of the three evils of America, of militarism, materialism, and racism. They were really focused on the I Have a Dream speech, some of the more stirring rhetoric that King produced, and et cetera. And I think since that time, ironically enough, activists who would otherwise love the movement have had to use the holiday every year to say, wait, before we just watch the I Have a Dream speech for the 2000th time, let's A, remember everything else King said, and B, even if you look at the I Have a Dream speech, if you read the entire speech, it is much more radical than people realize. It's just that we focus on the content of their character and the color of their skin comment and go from there, whereas we don't look at the things like, we're coming, our promissory note, police brutality, etc. So I think you're absolutely right that there is a lot that has gone sideways with how we use the MLK holiday that activists have been pushing back against for almost 40 years now.